LD, Matty Gunner, Richard-Erik Jarvi and Bidoor. Welcome to Scoundrels, Movies, News, and more. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Scoundrels.
The most explosive movie show in the far reaches of the interwebs. This is the greatest day of Scoundrels.
Well, let's not go too far here.
Yes, it is.
Let's not go
yes,
too
it
far
is.
here. It's definitely the greatest day.
The greatest day of Jarvi's life.
I was asking Matty, is it my birthday today? Why the fuck are we talking Michael Bay and all like everything Bay related?
Well, it's because honestly, I actually am a fan of Michael Bay, some of Michael Bay's stuff. So it's not like I don't like him. I just like to bust your balls a lot of times about how much you like him. That's all.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to be back. Thank you guys so much for holding down the court for me while I was gone. I was in LA and doing work and all that kind of shit. I did miss you guys. But it is good to be back live with you guys, talking all sorts of movie stuff. And I did actually pick this week's topic. It made sense. It wasn't just for Jarvi. It actually made sense with what we were doing. So we'll get into that. Let's get right into our news segments. Let's get those done, and we'll get into a little talk about Ambulance, and we'll talk about some Michael Bay moments, Michael Bay, how he's influenced us in any way, and maybe something else as well. We'll see what happens. Start us off there, Matty. Oh, I didn't even introduce you guys. You guys know who these guys are, don't you?
Yeah, you know who we are.
It's Matty fucking Gunner. It's Richard-Erik fucking Jarvi. Let's get into the fucking news. Hit it.
First off, we must, of course, pay tribute to rest in peace, Gilbert Godfrey. We literally just found out as we were about to go live.
Yeah.
And that fucking sucks, man. Like, whoa.
It's a sad moment. He was someone who one of my favorite comedians when I was younger. Like, I watched him probably a lot younger than I should have, because his own brand of humor, I mean, it's pretty raunchy. I mean, he's probably best known for being in Aladdin as Iago, which he's got the family ties there as well. But I used to love his voice and everything else. A lot of people are annoyed by it. It made me laugh no matter what he said.
That's the magic of it. That's it. That's the annoyance was part of his like charm.
I loved every little, he had a lot of cameos in 1980s comedies and stuff, and you always do what you're getting with him. Just the squinty eyes and he's a unique individual, and it's kind of weird. I mean, this has been a really bad couple of months for comedians, losing Norm Macdonald, Bob Saget, and now Gilbert Godfrey. I mean, God's probably laughing his ass off now upstairs. But on that, I mean, he did live a full life. From everything I've been told, I guess he was suffering from a long-term illness. I didn't get a chance to actually read any of the articles. I guess this is all, like I said, we found this out literally before we went live. But my respect to him and his family. Best wishes to them. And he's a legend.
Yeah,
it didn't say what it was. It just said long illness. So, and I feel like we don't really need to know. We just need to remember his legacy. And to me, I remember him from Beverly Hills Cop.
Yes.
Yeah, that was where I remember him. The first time I think I even saw him was in Beverly Hills Cop.
Nice, very nice. All right, Matty, what else we got going on here on news?
So, shout out. We've been hitting a little bit of a running theme at the moment, where we are kind of honoring the great Nick Cage.
Oof,
Nick Cage,
man, the myth, the legend himself.
I have not seen the Unbearable Weight of Extraordinary Talent yet. I meant to be seeing it Monday, but I had another engagement has popped up, so I won't be able to see it until it comes out. But he has revealed that there is one role that he has yet to play that he still wants to. When my fucking thing wants to come up. Oh yeah. He wants to play Captain Nemo from Jules Verne's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
That is a weird pick. That's not what you expect.
The best part is the quote from it, though. I would like to play Jules Verne Captain Nemo because of the character's love of the ocean. I shared that with him. It's a very Nick Cage answer.
It is. That is very Nick Cage. That is very, very Nick Cage. And from what I've heard about Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, it's like, it just seems like Cage is on a path right now to ascend to the greatness we knew he was capable of.
Correct.
He slid off a little bit there.
Correct.
But he is back to being who we know he can be. And I feel like if he keeps this up, this dream may become a reality.
He is definitely in the zeitgeist in a less ironical way recently. For a long time, he did those millions of like straight to video type movies and everything else. But all of a sudden, recently, he had kind of those hits. He had Willy's Wonderland, kind of brought him back a little bit. He had Mandy. He had
Pig.
I'm going to get in there. There's one else. He had Mom and Dad, and then of course, getting Pig was actually a huge return to the thing, even though it felt like one of those other movies, but then when you watch it, it's a legend. People were talking Academy Award nomination possibly for him, and I wouldn't have been surprised if it happened because he was that damn good in the film, and it was that damn good of a movie.
Is that going to be in next year's consideration?
No, it was this. It would have been this year's because it was released last year.
Okay.
So it's unfortunate.
Let's not forget the martial arts masterpiece of jiu-jitsu, where there wasn't a single bit of fucking jiu-jitsu in it.
Of course. But with all that, he also does have this really A-list movie. It's an actual movie again, like big screen movie with Pedro Pascal, who's a hit at the moment. He's got Tiffany Haddish in it. It's a moment where we're getting to see Cage kind of get back into gear. Not only that, interestingly enough, and this is Cage related, I'll throw this in there as a bit of a subset news article. National Treasure, the Disney show, is getting Justin Bartha to come back to reprise the role in that. So,
cameo,
is Cage that far behind?
I think it's likely he'll come in as a cameo because he said that National Treasure 3 is not going to happen.
Right.
Whether that is him saying the movie's not going to happen because we're going to do a series,
right,
or it's him just saying I'm not a part of it.
But now I feel like he's could be a part of it in a way, potentially.
Oh, yeah.
Potentially. So I don't know, but I love this Cage renaissance. I'm all here for it. I hope it lasts. I hope we get some more.
Is it a renaissance though? Because we knew he had it in him.
Well, it's a renaissance in terms of he's not doing just a straight DVD anymore. He's in the zeitgeist of public consciousness. We were always there with him. The world wasn't always there with him. That's the basic gist of it. And yes, he should have been nominated twice for that. That's true.
Adaptation. Is that Ben's favorite movie of his?
No, he likes The Weatherman. That's the one.
Oh, right, The Weatherman. Right. Yeah. Okay.
Very different movie. That one. I actually want to see Adaptation again. It's been a long time. But that's what I'd like to see. I'm happy to see him back. So hopefully this continues. I love to see him getting to revisit some of his more iconic roles. I mean, he does it within the movie, I guess, showing unbearable weight of massive talent. But you can revisit some of his older significant roles and go from there. Let's see what he says or what he does. Either way, no matter what it is, he's always entertaining. So,
but let me ask you a question. What is Captain Nemo like as a character? It's been ages since we've seen him on screen, and honestly, I haven't read the movie in forever. I can't remember anything really about the character. Do you think he would make a great Captain Nemo?
I don't see why not. I mean, he's obviously from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and also he's in Verne's other book, the Mysterious novel. He's
mysterious character, but
mysterious figure, scientific visionary, roams the depths of the sea. I mean,
that's Cage all over.
Yeah, consumed by a hunger for vengeance and a hatred of imperialism. That's what I'm reading.
All right,
that's
vengeance.
Yep.
He's been,
all I'm hearing is check.
Let's see. Celebrated actors who have appeared as the character are James Mason, Herbert Lom, Patrick Stewart, Ben Cross, and Michael Caine.
The League also, the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. He was in there as well, wasn't he?
Yes, that's true. He was in that. Yes, indeed. Who played him in that? It was. I can't remember who he played in that, or who played that in the film.
It was a Middle Eastern actor, like a character. I don't really remember.
I can't remember. I feel like well, that's right. It's it is. I guess Nasiruddin Shah. I hope I'm not butchering his name. Nasiruddin Shah. He's a award-winning actor in his own right. All right, but anyway, I like the idea. Hey, as far as I'm concerned, Cage can play whatever he wants. Get him with more Cage, the better. All right, there, Matty. What's the next to discuss?
Our next topic: joining the #family. Brie Larson is to join Fast 10.
John Lustrina, this one's for you. That's for you, John Lustrina.
This is for you, John.
I'm all for it. Fuck it. I don't care. Let's just get as many people on board as possible. Like this series has grown from a Point Break ripoff to like a near death, like almost straight to video. Like it almost went straight to video, and then like rebounded. It got like The Rock involved, and now it's like a superhero movie, and like everybody and their mother is going in there. I just more the merrier as far as I'm concerned. Who's she gonna play? I don't know, fucking idea. She's probably like Brian's long lost sister or something like that. That's how these movies probably work.
I would be guessing that's what it is.
I would.
Actually makes perfect sense.
I have a feeling they're gonna try and bring her in as like the Gina Carano, Ronda Rousey
Really?
kind of
You think so?
action star figure, because they're kind of running low. Well, I mean, they've exhausted talentless female MMA fighters, so I guess you gotta go one rung above. So I guess Brie Larson's in that.
We already have Charlize Theron. We already have Charlize Theron in there.
We got Charlize. So you gotta meet. Right, you got to meet in the middle ground, right, between Charlize and talentless female MMA fighters.
I love Brie Larson. Brie Larson's actually, I think she's actually got some performance level in her. So I actually like her in the role of Captain Marvel. Didn't like the movie Captain Marvel very much, but I liked her in the role. I'm interested to see what she does going forward. You know who actually I would love to see actually be in the Fast and Furious franchise?
Who?
Mackenzie Grace.
Okay.
Why her?
She has the action chops. She's in Terminator. She was in Terminator Dark Fate. She has
no. Mackenzie Davis, you mean?
Yes, I'm sorry. Did I say Mackenzie?
Okay, because I was like,
I conflated. You know
Mackenzie
what?
Davis. Oh my god, she's great.
Because PJ and I just did an episode of Two Mediocre White Dudes on film yesterday. We covered Annabelle Come Home and starred McKenna Grace, also Ghostbusters. She's also a phenomenal actress, but not an action actress at all. I just conflated it to my head. Sorry. Yes, Mackenzie Davis is who I'd like to see in Fast and Furious. McKenna can last another 20 years, and then she'll be in Fast and Furious.
Mackenzie Davis has the exact same haircut in Terminator as Charlize Theron has in the latest, like the same bowl cut sort of fringe.
Yeah.
they could be like sisters or something.
I'd love it. I would be all for it. I'm a very big fan of Mackenzie Davis. I think she adds a lot to the role, so I'd love to see her in the role. But I'll take Brie Larson as well. This should be fun. I'm all in. I kind of wish Dwayne Johnson and Vin could like patch up and we get to see Dwayne come back.
It's not going to happen.
Never going to happen.
Oh, it's never going to happen. Absolutely. I'm interested to see if there's going to be a Hobbs and Shaw 2, because there is talk about that for a while too. But if this is going to be the last Fast and the Furious, does that mean that that's done too, or is that going to be done separately? Who knows?
Are they splitting it up into two halves? The last one, I'm pretty sure that.
Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be two movies down to two big super side. They can't contain it in one.
How do you go bigger than what they've already done?
I have no fucking clue. But
they've done
that about
space.
Tom Cruise.
The only thing I can think of is they go to the bottom of the ocean.
That's probably.
Do you know who they need for the Fast and the Furious franchise?
Nick Cage.
That is. I'm surprised this hasn't happened. Michael Bay needs to direct those movies. Like that is a match made in heaven. Like that is exactly in his wheelhouse. Like I'm not saying that's because I say everything Michael Bay, but think about it. Cheesy, over the top action movie, and Michael Bay.
You're not wrong. I can see that.
Let me add to that. Let me add to that. Do you know who else Fast and Furious needs? Ed Harris.
Oh, that's always true. That's always true. He could be the big bad guy. I'll take that in a heartbeat. Thank you, Matt, for saying that, so I didn't have to.
I knew you were thinking it, so I was just like, you know what? Let me be the one to say it. But you don't catch the flag for it.
I was going to say I'm not going to quiet. I'll be quiet about it. But
I can already picture the scene where they're all cornered in their cars, and Ed Harris is up there in his monster truck, saying you drove into the wrong goddamn garage.
I'm up here, you're down there. I love it. And that's actually true too. You can see how this is finally going to connect. Dom's going to connect him to the Riddick franchise now. I actually like the Riddick franchise. I'd like to see more.
Me too.
I like Riddick.
I love the first film. I love this. I think the second film's good. The third film's a little shitty, but I'd like to see where it can go from there.
You didn't like the third one?
I did not. It was a rehash of Pitch Black, basically.
Yeah, but it had Katie Sackhoff.
I like Katie. I liked Katie, and I liked having Batista in it, but the film itself was, it was a rehash. I hated the first 20 minutes of that film was basically like Crocodile Hunter, like Vin Diesel and these like little alien like creatures that he has to like tame them, and it's like 20 minutes. I'm like, all right, let's get the fucking move on with this fucking shit. At this point.
Interesting. That's the part that I loved most, actually. Sort of, they kind of, because I did love. It's such a weird take that they went from Riddick to Chronicles of Riddick. which is complete like Star Wars and Lord of the Rings type sort of thing, and then just back to pitch black again.
Right, because they had to do that because of money. That's why I had to make a cheaper film, because it tanked. But yeah, I love the original Pitch Black. I agree that the second one like was such a different film, but like I liked what they was going with it. I want to see more from that, but it is what it is. We're getting off topic again.
We are. I love the fact that we usually start with a news topic and then we immediately rotate to whatever we feel like most comfortable talking about, and then we continue.
Well, this one I blame ASG because you mentioned Riddick, so I had to go off on it. All right, we're good there. Let's go get the final view or final finally news article that you have.
I am so
Matty loves this.
So happy this came out. I didn't think I could love Mads Mikkelsen any more than I already do. I am taking this as a direct shot at Jared Leto.
Okay,
how I'm perceiving this.
Read the article, the title.
So Mads Mikkelsen has come out and basically slammed the idea of method acting. Now, I'm going to read his full quote, because I think it's absolutely fucking glorious.
It's so funny.
He says, speaking about method acting, it's bullshit. But preparation, you can take into insanity. What if it's a shit film? What do you think you achieved? Am I impressed that you didn't drop character? You should have dropped it from the beginning. How do you prepare for a serial killer? You're going to spend 2 years checking it out?
Nicholson took on a mocking voice when adding, "I'm having a cigarette out of 2020,
which
back from 1870. Can you live with it?"
if you think about it, like Leto just played a serial killer. I'm not talking about Morbius. I'm talking about the movie he was in with Denzel and Rami Malek.
Oh, right, the weird movie. Yeah.
So I'm taking this whole quote as a direct fucking shot at Jared Leto, and I'm so happy about it. And then Mikkelsen took on a mocking tone when adding, "I'm having a cigarette. This is from 2020. It's not from 1870. Can you live with it?" The actor said, "It's just pretentious to do method acting," and blamed the press for equating method acting to real acting skills. Wow. The media goes, "Oh my God, he took it so seriously. Therefore, he must be fantastic. Let's give him an award." Then that's the talk, and everybody knows about it and becomes a thing.
It's pretty fun. Shot on.
He said that he would have the time of his life working with Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah.
But I don't do method acting.
He came around and said, like, no, Daniel
so
Day-Lewis is great, not because of method acting, just he's one of the greats. He's sort of, yeah.
Good old Mads. I'll give Mads credit where credit's due. He's a good dude.
I'd say he's like one of the biggest stars in the world right now. Like he's like, I mean, as like, you know, the IMDb star meter, whatever, I'd say like he should be somewhere in the top 3, like on the star meter at least.
I hope this Fantastic Beasts film pushes him up further.
I don't know. It's a cursed franchise at this point.
I know, but I'm hoping
the reviews.
The
reviews have been pretty good.
But it's still kind of like, you got J.K. Rowling, you got Johnny Depp, and you got Ezra Miller. Everybody's fucking up in that movie at this point. It's like, I don't know what they can do at this point.
That is actually pretty funny thinking about that. These are the 3 most scandalous
all
in Hollywood.
It's like,
I mean, the fuck is Ezra Miller doing?
The one in the gray area I would say is Johnny, because that's kind of like two sides of a very complicated.
Yeah, no, I shouldn't really lump him into the other two because it's really not his fault. But at the same time, it's like,
but it is a very problematic situation. Ezra Miller, on the other hand, we talked about
the fuck, like
before. Like,
is he trying to be like Shia LaBeouf or something? Like trying to this sounds like what Shia used to get himself back in the day.
From what I've heard, I talked to somebody who knows him, and he's just an asshole. That's basically what I've heard. Yeah,
yeah. I totally believe it. Also, it comes across a little bit.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But moving on to our last little news topic, it's just going to be me saying, I saw The Northman today.
Tell us about it
today. There's not going to be a single movie coming out this year that's going to top this movie for me. This was perfect. That Willem Dafoe continues to be in my opinion, one of the most underappreciated actors of our time. because he can just take any role and take it on and just make it an absolute masterpiece. To me, he was the standout in this movie. It's got everything you want. It's got the action. It's got the gore. It's got the kind of occult thriller kind of stuff. And yeah, if anyone's played the video game Assassin's Creed Valhalla, it's very.
I haven't played that one. I played the other ones.
Yeah, there's a lot of that in this movie, and it's just great.
Is it accessible? That's what I'm curious, because I've never been a huge Robert Eggers fan. Like I appreciate him, but like
I would say it's more accessible than stuff he's done previously.
Okay,
like more accessible than The Lighthouse.
Yes, I would say so, but it is still fucking weird.
Okay,
all right, fair enough. It's a lot of people love Robert Eggers stuff, and I get it, because if you're into it and get past it, and then I completely see why it'd be someone's full cup of tea. And I cannot say it's not well made. It's extremely well crafted, and he does great with what he does. It's just not entirely for me. It's not something I get excited about. I watched Lighthouse. I thought it was very well made. I think I even gave it 4 stars. I think, but I wouldn't really want to watch it again. I'll be honest with you.
That's the thing. But if you sort of mix in Viking lore, great action, I feel like I could eat up that weirdness.
Yeah,
with all of that other like 100%. Cool stuff.
And there's been times where that's happened. There's been times I can't off the top of my head where I saw a director and hated his first effort, saw somebody else and there was a little twist to it. I was like, oh, this is fucking the greatest movie ever. Mm-hmm. So I'm happy to hear you liked it, Matty. That was actually one of my persons that I thought I was gonna base my my opinion on whether it's gonna be good or not.
Yeah, Alexander Skarsgård is great in it. Anya Taylor-Joy continues to like. I'm impressed with her like more and more that I see her. For the start, I didn't really get the hype around her, but then I saw her. She was a really key role in Peaky Blinders, and she was incredible in that. And now I've seen her in this. She's absolutely incredible.
She was in Split. She was awesome in Split.
Yeah. So now I get it. Like I get why people love her.
And she's going to be playing Furiosa in the Mad Max sequel. Prequel.
Yeah, prequel. Could be good. Could be very good.
Watching this, that's definitely a role I think she'll handle very well.
So, real quick, I'm actually going to audible here. I want to throw in a little bit of my review of a movie that I saw this weekend. Be a quick one. I got to see Everything Everywhere All at Once.
No spoilers, because I've seen half the movie. I haven't seen the
Okay.
Yeah, I was just telling Matty, the worst cinema experience of my life. Had to walk out halfway through because the movie was so good. Could not have the movie tainted by that experience. But go ahead.
This is my favorite movie of the year, easily by far. It's
That's
such
what I hear.
Good movie. Michelle Yeoh is so perfect in this, and I apologize for his name. I don't know if I can say his name. Ke Huy Quan. Yeah. He is the return, obviously, of Short Round and Data from the 80s. And he's back acting, and he is phenomenal in this movie.
He's exactly like Short Round, but also like it's not annoying. It was so weird seeing him like the dude is like 40 years later.
But he also could flip it. He had moments when it was like
because he turns
and he's spot on for that as well. I have never seen a movie, and this is not spoilers, I think, which is I
hope so.
Not spoilers. In terms of like there's scenes in here which I could see in a parody, like a Hot Shots or Naked Gun. Like it's stupid
hot dog fingers.
And so that's exactly that thing. There's stuff like that, but yet they make it so accessible and so like heartfelt.
Jamie Lee Curtis,
a heartfelt examination of human interaction, family interaction, dynamic relationships. Like I literally was laughing and bawling at the same time at the end. Like it hit me on so many levels. It's so much to unpack. I was thinking about it for like days afterwards. This movie affected me. This is a good, solid science fiction movie with a point, and it's some great performances from some great characters. This was a home run, so definitively go see that in theaters. That's just what I say about that.
So I was chatting with and like shout out to the movie guys as well, and like go watch their interview with this gentleman. It's a guy that I've talked to quite a bit, D.Y. Sao, who does a lot of the choreography. He worked on Shang-Chi, and he like does a lot of action movies. he said that like just on set with Michelle Yeoh, like everyone was just in awe of her. Like she walked on set and she was just like asking everyone about like their jobs, like what they do, and she was just like one of the best people to work with. So for her to get to be in this movie, which everyone seems to love, and like everyone is saying, go see this movie. Like it's getting a lot of word of mouth of being like, this movie is incredible. Go see it. The fact that the writers passed on Loki to create this movie, and it's as great as it is. I hope that this movie gets a bigger like commercial push.
Yes,
because at the minute it's out like here and there, like spotty places. Like I had to go, like it's not in any chain cinemas here. I had to go to the Prince Charles Cinema, which is like quite a niche cinema to see it.
Right.
And yeah, it's incredible.
Jarvi, go back and see it and finish it up.
Question for you guys: is this a modern classic?
I think so.
To
me, yes.
Because it feels like the scores, half the movie that I saw, I was like, already, this is one of the greatest things I've ever seen. Right. But I didn't finish the movie, obviously. So you're saying yes?
I think so. I fully think so. So good.
Wow. Prince Charles.
Prince Charles got invited to see
that. I do. I've met Prince Charles. We're best friends. Not as much as me and Tom Cruise, but no, I don't know Prince Charles.
That wraps up the news portion. So, what do we want to do? The review about ambulance now? Do you want to do our topic of the week? What do we do?
Let's talk about ambulance and then dive into the topic of the week. We'll leave the topic of the week as like the last thing to discuss.
I want to show something first, then before we get into it. This actually fits for both categories.
I'm all aboard.
I saw this before I got to see ambulance and it turned me on completely. So let's see.
It did, huh?
There's a reference to The Rock in this movie. So what is each of your personal favorite Bay movie?
The Rock.
Bad Boys.
Yeah.
All right, if you were to insert yourself into either of those films, who would you be?
For me, it's always a toss-up in every movie if Ed Harris is in it. I kind
of
is that right?
But I always feel like it's really just want to be as good of an actor as Ed Harris.
I would want to be a third wheel.
Let's just play that back again.
Who would you be?
For me, it's always a toss-up in every movie if Ed Harris is in it. I kind of always want to be Ed Harris.
Is that right?
But I always feel like
God.
It's really just want to be as good of an actor as Ed Harris.
I would just want
to be
a third.
It's really just want to be as good of an actor as Ed Harris.
Right.
Did you give him notes?
It's really just want to be as good of an actor as Ed Harris.
Real quick, Jake, blink twice if you're okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I
mean, he's got a point though.
Yeah,
he's got a point.
100%. That's why
it's like PLD's got Jake Gyllenhaal like tied up in his basement.
I always knew I liked Jake Gyllenhaal. I always said Jake Gyllenhaal was a smart individual. He's now shut up. This is what I figured out.
Young General Hummel.
Can we just play that? Can we play that one more time? Because I just want to like get the gravity of the situation.
Sure, you need to see it one more time. Yeah, let's see it one more time. Okay, let's just put that back on screen here. I can watch it all day. Sure. Okay, there we are again. I mean,
your personal favorite yourself into either
The Rock.
Bad Boys.
Yeah.
The Rock.
All right, if you were
so fast.
insert yourself into either of those films, who would you be?
For me, it's always a toss-up in every movie if Ed Harris is in it. I kind of always want to be Ed Harris.
Is that right?
But I always feel like it's really just want to be as good of an actor as Ed Harris.
I would want to be
so good.
Well, there you go.
Oh
Jake?
My God.
Did you know that he actually shaped his character around, like he tried to do a little General Hummel in there, like sort of give you this anti-hero sort of like gray area type of character.
Leslie was bringing it in, and I think he actually does succeed. And by far, and this is even like I know all jokes aside, and I saw it before and everything else. He by far was my favorite part about Ambulance.
Oh my God.
He was the star of this movie to me. Isaac Gonzalez was like the heart of it, but
oh my God,
was it there?
That's there.
That's right. It makes sense because he was in Ed Harris was in The Lost Daughter, which was directed by his sister. So that's why Jake.
Yeah, that's right.
Now you were there, probably.
Great role.
A great role.
I had no idea he was in the movie. I thought he was going to be.
I thought there could have been a cool thing that he could have been some Oscar buzz for supporting. I know it's a small role, but I'm hoping that in the future it gives him more of an opportunity to go back into those kind of like supporting roles with like good directors and good actors instead of some of the stuff he has done here and there. But either way, but let's get into this movie, Ambulance.
Good.
I fucking love this movie. This was Michael Bay's best movie since the 90s, I think. Maybe like
Whoa. I gotta strongly disagree on that one, but that's for our topic later.
Okay, that's fine. I just don't think there's anything past like 1999 ever. That's kind of going. So there's one.
You said 1999, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
just checking.
It's definitely better than Pearl Harbor. Still, but
it's not hard to be.
Exactly. There's not much into that. There's not much in Michael Bay's catalog that's actually great. I'm sorry. There's a lot of good.
Okay.
There's a lot of good, a lot of fun, but great is tough. This actually made me feel like I was back in the 90s, where I think Michael Bay's peak was in the 90s. I'm sorry. That's where he was doing The Rock, he was doing Armageddon, he was doing that. This kind of felt like one of those movies, whereas comparison, some of those felt a little flat comparatively to those.
Yeah.
This
600 Grounds.
600 Ground, yeah. I mean, there's some movies I did like. 13 Hours is a great movie, but it's totally
13 Hours is a fucking masterpiece.
But it's a totally different kind of movie than a Michael Bay movie. That doesn't feel like a Michael Bay movie to me, to be honest with you. And that's why this feels like a Michael Bay movie. The action is at the centerpiece. And
camera movement
is all shaky cam galore.
He freaking discovered drone shots now. He like milks the hell out of the drone shots.
This is what I think about him and drone shots. Michael Bay with drone shots is like you buying your dad a drone for Christmas, thinking that he's gonna like it, and he just becomes obsessed with it, and he just becomes consumed by it.
And just flies it through everything, like the hardest, like the toughest places. He just flies it through everything.
John Guest, could this be the start of the emergency vehicle cinematic universe? I'm all in for it. I actually wanted to see. I'm going to save this talk for later. What I love about this film mostly is that it's action, but there is an emotional core to it. There's enough of the character to give an emotional core that it matters. That's partially from Isa Gonzalez, who's not exactly ever been one of my favorites, but she does really well in this movie. They do great jobs of like building her up. And the relationship between Jake and Yabba was phenomenal. I thought it was really well done. And Jake Gyllenhaal does, even though he's not, like you touched base on Jake kind of be a little bit of a General Hummel in this. It's not that you agree with what he does, like General Hummel. It's not, it doesn't really hit to that level, but you do sympathize with him at moments. There's moments where you get what he has. He does have a code of his own.
There's a little bit of the town in his code.
There's a little bit of the town in his code. Yes, he's kind of got, there is some honor to him. I mean, he's not exactly dishonorable. He does
honor amongst thieves.
He's a little crazy. And sometimes goes against himself at times. But at the end of the day, he's that kind of character that's interesting enough. He's not the mustache twirling bad guy. They're like, okay, he's gonna be the bad guy. We got to take care of him. This is a character, a real true character, and I was in love with his character from the get go.
It was like, and even he gets like Yaya's character going as well. Like he's the reluctant hero, but when they're in the shit, they like do some crazy move, and Jake's like, "Now you're fucking enjoying yourself." He's like, "Yeah, fucking am." Like he even gets the straight guy like going. That's
true. I will say, John Guest, she's not one of my favorite performers. I haven't seen a lot of roles that she's done, and she's very, very attractive. And
I love how we've popularized the term "future ex-wife."
That's true.
Yeah, I mean,
she does, and she does a great job here. Hopefully, this is something for the future. I've looked up some of her previous roles, and there was never anything I was kind of like, I was excited by her. As far as I look at her and go, I gotta see the next Isa Gonzalez movie, kind of thing.
her intro in this movie, that was exactly like 90s Michael Bay, where he still had this sort of emotional core to the characters,
right?
Like that scene where she saves the little girl in the car. I seriously teared up. Like the little girl did an amazing role. Like very little what she had to do. But that was such a gripping scene. I was like, holy shit. This, like, when I watched, that was by far my fist bump moment, because I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to watch the rest of this movie, because if it's that good, this could be one of the greatest movies he's ever done. It's not as good, but still, the intro and the introduction of Isa's character was
chef's kiss.
perfect.
You talk about gripping scenes. How about the fucking bit where they're doing the surgery in the fucking ambulance?
Oh, we're gonna get there. I think. Oh, if we can get it, we might as well get into that now. That blew my fucking mind. It was like the greatest and worst part of the movie in a way.
Like I'm totally gonna steal what Ben and Drew said, but when they're like throwing the vitals on the screen, you're like, what the fuck is going on? What is this?
It's like Independence Day, like it's connecting the computer to the alien technology to deliver a virus. It's basically the same type of thing. It's ridiculous, and his hands are all in there. Everything's out. Like, and then the worst part about it, to me, honestly, even beyond all that, like I could almost buy into that. I'm not attached to the movie at this point. I'm not really bored with it. But then, like 15 minutes later, guy's like, "Hey, what's up? What's going on?
You have your hand inside of me?
Hey, you're deep inside me. Oh. Are you still going to date? One date? You and me? Yeah, let's go. Like he was completely fine. Like you just had your hand, you just coded. Your hands were deep inside your shit. Your spleen just erupted. It's being held together by a fucking. Your spleen being held together by a fucking hair clip right now, and you're like, "Hey, what's going on? What's going on here?"
It's a huge hair clipper. There's no way you can clip an artery with that. That was like this. How do you can't clip an artery with that?
I don't get it. I don't understand it, but it was just ridiculously.
But that's the beauty of it. We don't have to. Just go with it.
Not only that, they're doing this surgery at 60 miles an hour or 70 miles an hour. They're doing, and they're bouncing all around. And after it all gets done, they're still bouncing all around. This is like, I would think it's got to say pretty straightforward. Not going to like bounce around and like this movie's going to come out. They didn't really staple it shut as far. I mean, maybe I missed that. Maybe did, but like. The whole thing was just fucking. It was beyond ridiculous, and like it was almost too ridiculous for me. But I was in, so I didn't care. That's what it was.
Yeah,
at the end of the day.
It's like everything Michael Bay is good at, he used in this movie. Like when the truck drives through like stands, you can see there's always colorful fruit flying.
Right.
He always drives through colorful shit. It's like crazy how much he loves color.
I saw Dan Mo's review of this, and he said it reminded him of that scene in Wayne's World 2, where you have the guys just standing there with the watermelons as the ambulance goes through at the end.
Yeah.
And he was just like, oh, no, we were just told just to keep it stocked with watermelons at all times. We don't know why.
Because of that, exactly. At the end of the day, the film is a little longer than it had to be. I think there's definitely some flaws in the film like we've talked about, but I do want to bring up my favorite scene. I think I mentioned on the Action Guys already. My favorite scene in the whole movie, the one that really sold me on the whole thing, was the scene at Poppy's house there, Poppy's yard at the end, when you get the Brotherhood. You get like Jake Gyllenhaal's like, all right, well, we're gonna have to leave the cop and girl. I don't care. Let's go. And Yaya won't leave her behind. Okay. And and he's about to like. He kind of talks to. He's like, "Yeah, I'll go. I guess that's it. We're done. We're gonna split up." And like they have that emotional moment where he's not gonna leave his brother behind. And they had them when they look at each other. He's like, too bad we had to. You went right. I went left. Maybe we should both go left. Go left. We should go left. And they go off and they take out everybody else. And he gets to the end. He's like, what is my fake brother? My fake brother? Boom, done. Like it was just.
That's Bad Boys.
That's Bad Boys.
That's Bad Boys and Pearl Harbor.
Yep. It's the emotional core there of those two, that relationship, which makes the whole film worthwhile and which elevates it above the normal just action fare in a way. You buy into it and you want to see it happen and you're excited by it.
Do we think with the mentions of The Rock and Bad Boys, is Michael Bay trying to build his own cinematic universe?
Yeah, but did you know that he keeps doing it? Because I watched, don't ask me why, I watched all of the Transformer movies last weekend.
We know why.
I watched all of them, and he keeps referencing his movies in every single one of them. No, he does it in all he always references another movie. It's crazy.
It's like he's just like, hey, remember I made these really sweet movies in the 90s? Yeah. Just want to make sure you remember.
Yeah, as I feel, because he's not, and the funny thing, he's making references to the movie. He's not making references to the characters. So it's not like he's building a universe. He's just like, I'm going to glorify myself. Which sounds pretty.
Look, I'm great. I am.
It's Michael Bay. It's crazy thing is the movie only cost $40 million to make. That's a relatively small budget for him, but you can't tell that it's a $40 million movie. Even Andrew Guy said it's like $100 million movie.
That's it. That's why I put it in there.
40.
That's why I told him I had to check in there. It was a $40 million movie. That's a lot different than a $100 million movie. So go support us in the theaters so we can get these kind of movies in the theaters. Like,
yes.
Because like they're cheap, they're well cheaply made. They should make money, and they're fun. They're fun. Not to worry about. But
so I don't know if you guys felt this. Maybe it's just me, but like we got all the Michael Bay-isms, we got all the Michael Bay tropes, but like it just feels like this movie wasn't as big and bombast as we expect from Michael Bay. It felt more, a little bit more. I think it was like
just
smaller.
bombastic enough, though.
That's what I'm saying. Like we got what we needed out of it. We got the right amount of, what's the word I'm looking for? Excess. If that makes sense. Like we got the Bayisms, we got everything we needed, and he didn't go too overboard.
I agree with that. I was happy with it to be honest with you. I hope it does get. I'm just happy to see Michael Bay doing something that's not Transformers. And something that actually, this is something he loves in his wheelhouse again. Like, I want to see him do more of this shit again instead of fucking wasting his time on a 5th or 6th or 7th or 8th or 10th or 12th.
Have you seen what his next movie is in IMDb?
No, I didn't even look.
It's Robopocalypse. Like he's going back to giant robots, but it's not Transformers. It's not Transformers. That's actually a movie that Steven Spielberg was supposed to tackle.
I'll tell you exactly what that is. That ambulance is about to transform into a Decepticon, and it's going to be an ambulance Transformers crossover.
It's Ratchet. Ratchet's alive.
Fuck you both.
There's that bitter PLD.
There it is.
It felt too good to be true. You're like raving all over a new Michael Bay movie. Now we're back to
you raving over Michael Bay. LA changed you.
He's
I
changed.
did want to throw in there.
Down a path.
One thing I did want to throw in there about this movie that I forgot about. I mentioned the action guys. I want to mention it here. I was so shocked, and the FBI agent that I didn't recognize at first. Like, who is that guy? Who's that guy?
Wedding Crashers.
It's the kid from Wedding Crashers.
Yeah, the weird kids.
Somebody touched from Wedding Crashers. Like, that's the guy who's an FBI agent. Holy shit! What a turnaround. But that's all there. I really have.
But the cops as well. Like I was just talking to Matty. Like all the like the badass cops in Michael Bay movies, they always have to be wearing sports caps. Always like cargo pants or cargo shorts and like baseball caps. That's like that's a thing that has to happen.
Absolutely. I only have one last thing I want to say about this before we move on to our next topic.
Who would you be?
For me, it's always a toss-up in every movie if Ed Harris is in it. I kind of always want to be Ed Harris.
Is that right?
But I always feel like it's really just wanting to be as good of an actor as Ed Harris.
Okay, perfect. Just wanted to say that last thing. Last bit. All right.
Have you got it out of your system now?
I got it out of my system. Let's get into our top 3 Michael Bay films. And I want to say I threw an audible in here. I changed the rules up one little snippet for myself. You guys can change it if you want. I'm changing this to the top 3 Michael Bay movies that are not The Rock.
Yeah, dude, I actually wanted to ask you, should we do it? Because we know it's all of our top
The Rock
one.
Is number 1, by far.
It is number 1.
Yeah.
There's no other one.
I mean, even like we usually do our patrons picks, like pretty much everyone unanimously agreed that The Rock is number 1.
So, and with my head, like I've talked about The Rock so much on here that like I don't want to bore anybody else at this point. So let's get into our top 3 that aren't The Rock.
That's an off the cuff if I ever heard one.
It is a little off the cuff, and I'm here for it. I like to keep you on your toes. So, what do you think? You want to go first, there, Matty?
I think because this is your topic, I think you should lead us with this one.
Oh, I like how you did that. Okay. All right. Well, then throwing it all together, throwing it out of the way, I will say my number 3 at this point. All right. I had a tough time with this for one reason only. It's because something I mentioned earlier. I love 13 Hours. I think it's a phenomenal movie. I think it's really well done. I have a hard time ranking this in the top 3 Michael Bay movies because it doesn't feel like a Michael Bay movie to me. You know what I'm saying? Even though he directed it, it still feels like when I watch a Michael Bay movie, I'm not watching 13 Hours. I'll watch 13 Hours because it's a good movie. when I want a Michael Bay movie, I'm going to put on number 3. I'm going to put on Bad Boys 2. Because that's a Michael Bay movie. For the scene alone, you have Martin Lawrence and Will Smith at the door when the daughter's
who the fuck is Reggie?
Who the fuck is Reggie? That whole scene alone, I could watch that. Pick up Megan. It's the definitive version of both Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, as well as a Michael Bay flick. Right
who
there.
The fuck's at the door?
What the fuck?
It's Reggie. He's picking up Megan.
You're making love to man? You want to?
No. You like to? No, sir.
That scene is why I will never be a father, because I know that is going to be me.
It is me, to be honest. I've done this before, basically. Me and my friend have done that before. It's ridiculously stupid. It is so out of control, but it is the hype and peak moment for Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. If I had to throw any of these on, it's gonna be Bad Boys 2.
That's a great pick. I was struggling with either picking Bad Boys 1 or Bad Boys 2, but you picked 2.
I did, because you got Peter Stormare's in it. You got Michael Shannon in it. It's got a great cast. So there's a lot of little things like that also add to it for me. Bad Boys is fine, but I feel like Bad Boys, which is his debut, I feel like Bad Boys is him not quite at Michael Bay's peak yet. Like he's still kind of feeling it out a little bit. Then he hits The Rock and hits everything else, and then Bad Boys 2 peak.
It's crazy. I just realized The Rock is Michael Bay's second movie.
Mm-hmm.
That is really crazy, and that's his best one.
Mm-hmm. By far. So that's true. Google might kill me. He does know me. He might actually come find me and kill me. And yes, I know he's very upset. But all right, Matty, go ahead with your number 3.
My number 3 is a movie that you guys so blatantly slandered earlier in the show. My number 3 is Pearl Harbor.
Yes, dude, that's in my top 50 all-time greatest movies.
Is it in your top 3, Michael Bay?
It's actually not.
So you have 4 Michael Bay movies in your top 50. You have 4 Michael Bay movies in your top 50 of all time.
But this is Matty's.
I'm gonna sit there and sit there. I just want to sit there in silence for a second.
Yeah, I kind of want to just
marinate.
Take that in for a second.
Did you really think that wouldn't happen if you picked a Michael Bay topic for this week? I mean,
I guess not. Okay,
Pearl
Matty.
Harbor.
Talk about Pearl Harbor, and Jarvi will definitely help you with this because I know it's one of his favorites also.
To me, like every member of the cast puts in a stellar performance in this. I mean, look, if you talk about who's in it, you got Alec Baldwin.
Oh, the greatest.
The greatest. Ben Affleck, Josh Hartnett, Cuba Gooding Jr., and my future ex-wife, Kate Beckinsale. Now that name alone in the cast should already be like a top 10 of all time movie for me.
John Voight,
maybe not as much, but yeah, I just think that it's. The problem with this movie is I don't know why I like it as much as I do, but every time it's on, I'm like, I gotta sit and watch Pearl Harbor.
Talk about a little long. It's a little long.
It's an epic. It's a World War II epic.
It's like if you put Michael
Just because
Bay,
you make a 3-hour movie doesn't make it an epic.
Oh, if you make Michael Bay makes a movie, it's an epic. It's
like if you put Michael Bay in charge of Dunkirk, this is what we would get.
That is that sounds about right.
Oh God, you're not wrong.
But it has a lot of Top Gun in there. There's a lot of Top Gun in there. And I don't know. I think as bad as Ben Affleck and Josh Hartnett are in that movie, like sort of their chemistry together, it's like two bad things makes a plus.
I just had John gets here. How is it the guy furthest from America likes the jingoistic crap most, and the British guy likes it? That's a very, very good question. I'm the only American on this show, and I'm the least of the pro-American movies on the channel.
Well, there you go.
Maybe it's just because we admire the spirit that you have for your country, because we know that neither of us could have it for our own.
I don't know, man. I will say, I will throw it in there. I don't hate this movie. I've never hated this movie. When I watched it for Action Movie Anatomy, I remember Jarvi pushing it. I had not watched it when Jarvi kept pushing it for me to watch it. And I did watch it. I was highly entertained. I thought it was a great melodrama. I had some good moments. I do think it was a little long for me, as far as that goes. They didn't need the 3 hours to tell this story. I'll be honest with you.
I need the director's cut of Pearl Harbor. Give me a 4.5.
For the first time ever, I want a studio cut of the film. Just like maybe 90 minutes to 2 hour and a half. Give me a 2 hour version of this movie. I think it'd be good. But it is, there's a lot of good stuff in there. And I do like a lot of the cast. Tom Sizemore is also pretty decent in it. And Ben Affleck, I love Ben Affleck. I think he's underrated. So I think this is definitely a good role for him. I always forget that Dan Aykroyd's in this movie.
Fuck yeah.
No, it's the submarine. No, no, not Dan Aykroyd. The other guy. Wait, no, it is Dan Aykroyd.
It is
Dan Aykroyd. He's the naval intelligence officer.
He's the naval. He's a submariner. I like submariners. They don't have time for bullshit.
Yep, I like that. So there's a lot of good in there. So I will not throw this shit under the bus.
Did I mention that Kate Beckinsale is in it?
You did. Oh no, you didn't actually. We should talk about her.
You mentioned it a couple times. Your future ex-wife.
I'll be next in line.
She is right. Release the studio cut. There you go. Hashtag release the studio cut. All right. So we're at Jarvi then.
Jarvi. Number three.
All right. I'm still wrestling with it, but I'm not going to say Transformers. I am going to say Bad Boys 1 for me.
Bad Boys 1. Okay.
Bad Boys 1. I think I do like Bad Boys 2 better in a lot of ways, but Bad Boys 1 establishes those characters. I think Michael Bay is like best when he's before his peak, sort of in a, like, I do enjoy his movies. Like, I think he's one of my favorite directors for all the wrong reasons, because I just enjoy watching his movies, but like his best stuff comes way before his peak. So yeah, I think Martin Lawrence sort of has this more of a raw energy about him. Will Smith has this Independence Day sort of freshness. I don't want to say freshness because that's too much of a pun. So yeah, I don't know. And also the story is like, it's actually a pretty tight story that they tell in Bad Boys. Yeah. I do like it starts off with the heroin heist. Right. They lose the drugs. They busted them before. They have to get it back now.
Michael Bay from Police Story.
And it's, what's the name of the actor who plays Captain?
Joe Pantoliano?
Yeah, Joe not gonna just say Joe.
Joey
I'm
Pants.
Just gonna say
Joey Pants.
Joey Pants. Joey Pants, like that is like one of the greatest sort of police captains ever on screen. The way he just goes off on them, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. Good. And also, I'm also blanking on her name. She played with Nicolas Cage in the Christmas movie, the female lead. Téa Leoni. That's right. She is a weird pick for that movie, right? But somehow works really well.
I get that. I totally get that. All right, solid choice there on that one. I can't deny that. Like I said, I like Bad Boys 2 better, but it's fine. All right, my number 2 then, I guess, huh?
Mm-hmm.
This is a tough one. This is a tough one for me, I gotta say. I did not, spoiler alert, I did not put any Transformer movie on here.
Me neither.
Including the first one, even though I did like the first one. I think this is going to be not a shocker to some people. Not a shocker at all when you think about it. Michael Bay had another film that had Ed Harris in it. A little movie called Pain and Gain.
Oh, that's in your top 3. Well, it's because of Ed Harris.
It's not even because of Ed Harris, to be honest with you. It's actually not. A lot of people have problems with the movie because it's a serious subject, a serious like real life subject that he really didn't treat with any kind of respect at all. And I get that. I get that argument, but I try to take it separately. I try to say like this is that's not my business. I just look at the movie you've given me. I look at those fictional characters, and it's fucking batshit crazy in all the best ways. This actually is one of my favorite Dwayne Johnson roles. Like his coked up role. This is and this is also Marky Mark's best role probably since The Departed. After The Departed was over, there was it was basically a gritty R-rated action comedy that like really brought him back to the Bad Boys and The Rock. It was kind of like a return to form in a way, although it wasn't quite as serious. It wasn't quite as much of a how much I should say, grounding of it. So I get why people don't like it, but I mean, there's so much good in it. Anthony Mackie's great in it. Tony Shalhoub is great in it.
Yep.
And Ed Harris, actually, to me, Ed Harris serves as like the ground. He's the most serious character in there.
Yeah.
He is a straight guy, and you need him to take it seriously, and he does. And you watch him. There's just so much. I mean, Rob Corddry's in it. Rebel Wilson's same other thing. She's really good in it. Ken Johnson's in this. Michael Rispoli's in it. There's a great cast here. Peter Stormare's back again. Exactly. Another one I forgot about. Of course, I love anything that has Kurt Angle in it. But there's something about this movie that I really drew me to it. I really want to watch it. I haven't watched it in such a long time. But when I look at this over, I'm like, this is a movie I did love. And it showed Michael Bay could still do the Michael Bay stuff, even though it had been a while. This, if Ambulance was his true return to 1990s form, this was the movie that kind of went, "Hi, I'm still here," kind of thing to me, as far as Michael Bay went. So that's my number 2.
The movie is very anxiety-inducing. Like it's one of the it's probably like his greatest like film,
right?
And I won't say movie, like, but it suffers from the same thing as the Adam Sandler movie Uncut Gems. I can never rewatch that movie because I get anxiety from just watching that movie. I get the same feeling when I'm watching Pain and Gain.
It is very tough to watch. Not gonna lie, but so good. What about you, Matt? Have you ever watched the movie?
I have. Let's move on to my number 2 real quick.
So you're not a fan? Okay.
Let's move on to my number 2. It's a movie that, I mean, it's kind of a no shit Sherlock. Armageddon.
Yes, number 2. High five. There we go.
Armageddon is it's just perfect. And
it is.
For them to I Don't Want to Miss a Thing is a song that got played at every single school dance that I went to as a kid. That was the song that they would play at the end to try and get the boys and the girls off the wall and onto the dance floor, because it was like the slow dance number. I had no idea what it was from when I was a kid until I saw Armageddon. And then I was just like, holy shit, this comes from this movie? I had no idea. And then again, you look at the cast of it, and it's just, how does Michael Bay continue to convince all these great actors to be a part of his projects?
I know the answer. Answer to that. He can showcase any actor in the coolest possible way. Like that, if you ever wanted your action movie moment, you will get like loads of it when you're starring in a Michael Bay movie. He will give you slow-mo up, like down from under shots, give you this cool running away from explosions, stuff like that. Every person in their heart, at least once, like when they're like an established actor, they want that freaking action movie star moment. And Michael Bay can give it to them.
That's true.
And you got Bruce Willis, Billy Bob Thornton, Liv Tyler, Ben Affleck, Steve Buscemi,
Michael Clark Duncan.
Oh, God,
Get off the nuclear warhead.
Yes, and he's one of my favorite actors as well. The
William Fincher.
William Fichtner. Yeah, he's the very underrated.
I don't know how to
Fichtner. Jason Isaacs is in it.
Yes, he is.
Briefly, Keith David. Michael Clark Duncan.
Monkey Clark Duncan. Sorry.
Owen Wilson. Keith David. Jason Isaacs.
It could be 5% fear and 90%.
Campbell is such an underrated actor. He is Max. He's the big guy. He was in a bunch of sitcoms and stuff. And I'll say real quick, I don't want to miss a thing. That was Kim and Mine wedding song. So
really?
That's why I love it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we talked about it when we were talking about the greatest movie soundtracks.
Loved it. This actually, I'll throw it out there now since I'm already in here. My number 1. This is my number 1. I love Armageddon.
Yes.
Unabashed.
Yes.
I could watch that movie right now and be just with a big shitting grin on the whole time. The moment when you have Peter Stormare, like I only bring it up as one of those kind of moments that don't get talked about very much. And he's trying to fix it. He's like, Russian finds a medical weapon, all made in Taiwan. His crazy character makes me laugh the entire time. He's only there for a short amount of time. Love him so much. Everything about this movie is great. It's Bruce Willis and Ben Affleck at their best. And more power to Bruce Willis. I know he's going through some stuff now, but this was one of my favorite Bruce Willis roles, one of my favorite Ben Affleck roles. The moment where at the end when Bruce Willis pushes Ben Affleck into the
greatest father-son moments.
Oh, so good. It's one of the great father-son moments. And even more when Ben Affleck finds his way, he's in the moon RV thing, and he shows up. It's like to help the Stamper just lost his drill. Yes,
your boyfriend's back. You're like, fuck yeah, he is.
Yeah, he is. So good. So good. And like when Bruce Willis stops the nuclear thing, like he stops Fichtner, he's like, we got to do this. He's like, can you guarantee me? I'm not missing Mark yet. And he's like,
I swear on my daughter that I will make that death.
I'll make that death. Let's do it.
Shut this down.
We got a job to do. It's so cheesy, but they make it such like you make you buy into it and believe it. It's so good. So good.
What the hell are you doing with a gun in space? Like that moment.
And the moment at the end, when Will Patton's character walks out and his son runs up to him after like he had the
scene. We didn't talk about Will Patton.
Oh, so good.
Is it like when he's giving the speech to his ex-wife? I got something coming up.
Yeah.
Something big.
Something big. Yeah.
He just walks away. And then Daddy, Mommy, that salesman's on TV.
Yeah, she's like, what?
It's not a salesman. That's your father.
Oh my
God.
Right now. Actually, I might have to watch that again. It's been a long time.
I watched it twice in the last 3 months. Yeah, so good.
Oh,
so that was your number 2, Jarvi?
That was my number 2.
That's my number 1. So we just got that to my number 1 already. I'm out now. It's up to you guys to do your number 1s at this point.
You ready for my number 1?
We are.
Number 1 is not The Rock, huh? Okay, go ahead.
You already talked about it. Pain and Gain.
That's your number 1.
No, you swerved me.
What the fuck?
You swerved me. Okay, I was like, oh, he really hates that movie.
This movie, I'm a nice guy, but at my core, I am a complete bro, dude. This is the epitome of a bro movie. It is so bro-ish that they've got steroided up Mark Wahlberg, steroided up The Rock. Don't even come at me and say that The Rock's not on the gear, because he absolutely is.
Who would ever say that?
It wouldn't. Yeah, at this point.
Pro wrestling fans have come at me for a lot worse. But they managed to turn it into, I know it's based on like true events and everything, but they turned it into like this psychological thriller meets a bro movie embedded in the gym, the personal trainer, like steroid culture. And I was just like, this is the perfect movie for me. Like, this is just basically like, what does Matty want to see? There you go. And
that's awesome.
It really shone a light in sport as well, this movie, because this was before he became like all controversial and everything. But once this movie had come out, you had like Louis Simmons went on the Joe Rogan podcast and was talking about, in powerlifting, 99.9% of those guys are all on steroids. And while like we may look at them and be like, yeah, no shit, it caused like a lot of strength trainers and a lot of these like athletic bodies that put on like powerlifting competitions to really hone in on steroid culture and be like, we need to knock this shit in the bud because it's killing people.
Right.
And this movie, while it is absolutely crazy, it shone a bit of a spotlight on that. So in essence, Michael Bay kind of helped clean up the sport of powerlifting.
That's pretty funny.
So that's your thesis statement right there.
I like it. I think it's impressive. I like that thesis statement. I'm good with that.
That is my thesis statement, because it forced everyone to go like, wait a minute. Like,
okay,
this really happens. Like people die from taking anabolic steroids. Like, it fucks with your heart.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely does. So
And then when you have guys like Louis Simmons going on podcasts and stuff talking about it, it's just kind of like, okay, we need to do something about this.
Gotcha.
So the fact that a complete bro-dom movie had that effect, I'm just like, look, don't judge a book by its cover.
Should have guessed it that Batty was gonna pick Pain and Gain. Like we should have known.
We should have known. I feel like in that respect it does.
He's the fighter. He's the
which is why it
here.
surprised me so much the way he like was dismissing. I was kind of like, oh, so he doesn't like this movie. I'm kind of surprised by that. But
I dismissed it because I was like, I want to get as far away from it because I don't want to be like, that's my number one. Like I'm already talking about my number. Like I wanted to be like, all right, let's
do what I didn't do. Okay, I got you.
But yeah, Pain and Gain is my number one. I love that movie. I will defend that movie till the day I am in the fucking ground.
Okay, fair enough. I'm all on board. Scott Harrison. I'm with you. Jarvi, go ahead with your number one then.
I'm gonna pull a Matty here. We talked about that movie.
Oh,
it is in a close margin right behind The Rock. Is 13 Hours, The Secret Soldiers of Benghazi. Now, you said it yourself. It's not a Michael Bay movie. I could not disagree more with you. Ooh. I think it's a Michael Bay movie it's not a Michael Bay movie in the essence that he really follows the true story there.
Right.
He gives his characters depth, heart. I think it's a Michael Bay movie that has the most heart without having like a romantic sort of tie-in. Ambulance now kind of replicated that sort of unity and that family feeling. Like the way James, I think it's James Badgedale and John Krasinski, their like bond in the movie is, I would say, as strong as Yaya and Jake Gyllenhaal. And he, like, I think 13 Hours uses the best parts of Michael Bay and gets rid of the ridiculous stuff that like some of his very stereotypical characters have.
I would almost wonder if 13 Hours was made the way it was as like a response to the response to Pain and Gain, both true life events.
Yeah,
but he decides like that one of the negative things was how he didn't really respect the Pain and Gain people, whereas 13 Hours he was very much stuck to being respectful and it tamed down Michael Bay for that. I almost feel like this is like his attempt. This was his attempt to get Academy nominated. I think this is what it felt like to me.
He should have gotten it. Like seriously, I know Mark Ellis gave this a 5 out of 5. This is a 5 out of 5 movie. Like The Rock, for me, this is like almost as good as The Rock, in completely different reasons though.
Right.
But there's like, and I love the little details that Michael Bay puts in his movies. Like whenever a character is wearing sunglasses, they have to be mirrored and tinted.
Right.
They're always Oakleys, tinted and mirrored.
Does Michael Bay have an Oakley sponsorship?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
he's got to have like some kind of an endorsement deal. I feel like.
And they have they are referencing to one of the greatest comedies / war movies ever. They talk about Tropic Thunder. They're watching it on TV. The other guy's just pumping iron. And they're doing, I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude. And 3 or 4 characters all say that line in unison.
To me, like this movie also showed me, because like I was a massive fan of the US Office. This movie showed me that Krasinski could like have that leading man persona. Because like you watch The Office and like he is one of the main characters, but like the main character that we follow is Michael Scott, played by Steve Carell.
Right.
This showed me that he could step out of that kind of nerdy, like little comedy role, and he could be a leading man. And that was very surprising to me because I didn't know that Krasinski had that in him.
You know what else this movie did? It reconnected Roy and Jim. Roy's in the movie. He's got a huge beard like Roy, Pam's ex-fiance. He's also one of the team members there. Yeah, but this is like Michael Bay trying to make Black Hawk Down and succeeding.
Oh my god,
succeeding!
Wow,
I want to see that.
I don't know if I can go quite that far, but
Black Hawk Down for a long while was my favorite war movie ever. Wow. I don't know. 13 Hours is right up there. I couldn't pick between those two.
I should probably rewatch 13 Hours at some point.
It it is for me. That's a bro movie. That is when I pop open my best
movie.
whiskey, invite my buddy over. We just watch it because me and my friend were kind of like we're not like we don't have a license for gun in real life, but we're like gun nuts in movies. So we love all that like military equipment, stuff like that, all the tactical movements,
right?
Like everything. Yeah, we're sort of like fans of that stuff as well.
I love it. Well, that was a little surprising, I guess, at this point for everything. We have our top 3. I'm glad we did it without The Rock because that would have made it a little bit boring.
I do have an off the cuff for you guys as well.
Okay.
You have to now recast General Hummel. You have to pick a character off the cuff for General Hummel. If you got it right now,
I got it. Jake Gyllenhaal.
I friggin' knew you were gonna do that. Yeah.
It works. Tell me it doesn't work after watching Ambulance.
It does work, actually. If you even at his current age, he could pull it off.
I think he could absolutely pull it off. I mean, he'd be a little bit young, but I think he could pull it off completely. What do you have, Matty?
Who?
Michael Biehn.
Michael Biehn.
So
reversing a little bit.
I see what you're doing there.
I like that at first. That's pretty cool. You know what? There's one thing I did want to bring up before we leave. I kind of wanted to bring it up during the Ambulance review, and I kind of forgot about it. They mentioned their father a bunch during this movie, LT or whatever.
Yeah,
I kept expecting to see him at some point, right? And then I got to be honest. Towards the end of the film, I was watching the final shootout, and I'm like, in my mind, I'm kind of like, is he going to show up? Or even if he doesn't show up at this point, I'm kind of like, let Gyllenhaal live. Let him live. We can have an Ambulance 2, and Jake Gyllenhaal is in prison.
I'm all aboard with that.
And the father comes out. The father has to come and break him out of jail. We have a new system. And that father, you're goddamn right, is played by Ed Harris.
Can you imagine if that movie was like a heist movie by Michael Bay, a prison break movie by Michael Bay?
Yes.
Oh,
right.
Oh my God. And I think it was someone in the chat said when they're breaking him out, they commandeer a fire truck.
Yes, I like it. That is a break out. You got the fire.
And they're doing all sorts of shit with the fire hose on top as well, like all sorts of action sequences.
Well, we keep with the kind of van thing going, and we have like a SWAT van.
There you go, do that too. Yep.
And they go
and then Colin Farrell's in that one.
Yes, Colin Farrell, Samuel L. Jackson.
And eventually you got a hovercraft, and they can do the hovercraft. That'll be the third one.
Because they get to the ocean, and they have to get into international waters. I like it.
And then at the final scene, the van transforms. It's calling all Autobots.
And the last setting is
here.
The last setting is Alcatraz.
There you go. There it is. That's what they're going to. All right. I don't think it can end any better than that. Matty, where can the folks find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at Matty Gunner, Instagram Matty_Gunner. If you guys wouldn't mind, there is a link in my bio on Instagram. Team Alpha Male boxing coach Joey Rodriguez, his 15-year-old daughter Angie, is currently going through a battle with cancer. There is a GoFundMe there. But support, please, by any means necessary. Joey is someone who supports a lot of people on the team, takes a lot of time away from his family for everyone on Team Alpha Male. So please share it, donate if you can. That's all I've really got to say.
Sweet. Jarvi, where can the folks find you?
You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Richard-Erik with a K Jarvi. And you can find me on YouTube, starting my own channel. I love Michael Bay. I'll be talking. No, that's not happening. I wish it was, though. I should totally do that. No, you're doing Crown Jewels. I should do Bay's balls or something. What do you call them?
You want to do that? You're more than welcome. I'll even let you do it on this page if you want. If you want to do
Bay's. We need a pun for Bay something. Bay balls. No.
Bay's balls. That's just
baseballs. Baseballs. Anyway, and you can of course find me here weekly with these two fine gentlemen.
Thanks, sir. I want to shout out my patrons that are at that certain level. We got
Baywatch,
Danielle
of course.
Baywatch. Danielle Ramirez is our executive producer. We got Brandy Parker, Jeff Alterman, Kelly W., and John Lustrina as our producers. Thank you so much for that. If you want to join the crew, patreon.com/PLD projects. We got a chat going. We got a couple episodes and some hangout going to happen this month now. We also got another episode of Two Mediocre White Dudes. Actually, I'm sorry, Two Mediocre White Idiots in a Box, as PJ and I talk about Doctor Who. We're going to talk about Waters of Mars, that episode, one of my favorite episodes from the Doctor Who story. You can also listen to me on Spotify and all your places you can find those wonderful podcasts where we do Two Mediocre White Dudes on Film. Right now, PJ and I are tackling the Conjuring franchise. We have Conjuring, Annabelle Comes Home is going to come out tomorrow. Tomorrow we have... We come about 5 o'clock in the Eastern time. Actually, I'm sorry, I take that back. 3 o'clock in the Eastern time, 12 o'clock in Pacific. That new episode will finally come back out after a couple of weeks of absence because of we were working. Also, Crown Jewels the aforementioned Crown Jewels comes out today in about an hour. I'm going into the next track on the Queen catalog. It is a song called Jesus. Freddie going a little religious, but not Jesus, so don't worry about it. It's actually literally called Jesus. It's a great rock song, though. And of course, every week here, you can also help me find me on Action Industries. And you can also find me on the Movie Trivia Schmodown, where PJ and I are the writers of the questions. We are only human. Treat us well, treat us nicely. Got some cool things coming up with that as well. So I hope you will stay tuned. And other than that, I guess that should do it.
Can I just say, bravo on keeping that quiet.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
well done. I have to give you
managed.
props for that.
Really, I will throw that there. If you don't know what we're talking about Team Action did return after a long absence.
My God.
And it was the hardest thing I've ever had to do to keep quiet on that. I didn't want to ruin it because I just knew that when it came out, when it happened, it would make everybody so happy. And I think knowing it would have spoiled it a little bit too much. And so I just sat back and watched, and I couldn't wait for it to happen. I
was at dinner and I saw the group chat absolutely exploding, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" Okay, I'm gonna watch it. And I was sitting at dinner with my friends, grinning ear to ear, and they were like, "What are you smiling at?" I was like, "You wouldn't understand. Like, this is something important. I gotta fucking disappear." And I went and I watched the last round in the bathroom of the restaurant.
Can I tell you how long I've known?
Sorry, yeah.
Since about February.
Mm.
March. I got the call from Christian when Christian was starting. Christian is a child in the best possible way. He's very excitable. He gets very excited when he starts talking ideas. And when we started talking about the new season, when he came up with the Friday Night Titans ideas and everything else, he called me and he started telling me about, first he told me that idea was all about that. And he kept calling me with all these story ideas. He wants to pitch story ideas by me and see what I think about them and whatever. He comes in, I got a couple for you. One was talking about the Paul Preston, the THE Paul Preston thing. I love that. So it's funny. That's good. That fits. I think that working together would be good. When he came out with this, the next thing he said, and he goes, man, he's like, this one's for you. Specifically said, he knows I keep it quiet because he knows I'm trustworthy. I work with him, obviously. But he specifically said, you got to keep this quiet. I went, okay. I was like, all right, what's going on? And he tells me about it.
Tell me.
I didn't tell a damn. I got a text from Billy Belford saying, you motherfucker. How did you? When did you know? And I'm like, I know. The only person I got to talk to was PJ. The reason why I did that is I knew PJ is actually on the call because I'm on the phone with Christian and I get a call from PJ because that's what happens. He'll call PJ first and then he'll call me. Then with PJ, I talk about it later on because we have to have somebody we have to talk about it. And it was everything I wanted to be. I knew about it. Even later on, Christian showed me some scenes. He showed me a scene that was coming up. And he goes, wait, by the way, this thing came in from David B. You want to hear this thing? And I went, sure. And David B's music plays the Still Dre theme. And I was like, oh my God, I'm getting heart palpitations. It was so good.
There's absolutely no way this is only a one shot for them getting together. Like they had way too much fun together. This will happen again. I don't know anything. This will not be their last match.
I will say Drew is pretty vehement about liking the desk. I will say that. I will also say I think all bets will be off when we have a live event again.
Yeah,
that's what you said. Yeah, that's what you said. You want them reuniting at a live event.
I think that's what happened.
Speaking as someone who a year ago has said they will never compete in the sport they do again, you can't say it.
I think it'll have to be the right opportunity. I think Drew would want to come back for like a Legends match. That's when he said like something like if he had Team Action versus the Patriots or something like that, or Team Action versus maybe a reunion. I don't know, somebody else.
I see. Very humble.
Something like that.
Legends match.
I think that's what we'll do. Well, something like that in terms of like that's not like because I don't think you're never going to see Team Anakin come back and like make a run. They're not going to like go be back full time, and that's
he had a fucking perfect round. Do you think like they might not, but I guarantee it. Drew is thinking like, what if we went on a run? Like, what if? He's definitely thinking, what if?
I can tell you, I don't want to speak to him, but like from what I know of Drew and what I can say from personal experience, he's definitely in his mind of like, I went out there and I did it. I did it one time. What if I could do it again?
Exactly, dude. I know.
Maybe there's not a desire or want to do it again, but there's a thought in the back of his mind. I feel that he's like, if I wanted to go out there and do it again, I could.
Yeah, exactly.
And that is where we shall end this episode. We will see you next time, everybody. Much love. Where's the belts? Let's do it. Bye now. PLD, Matty Gunner, Richard-Erik Jarvi